What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Jenks podcast. Today's episode is going to be a fun one. We'll be breaking down the past 10 Super Bowls, putting them in order, which were the greatest games. What was the most fun to watch, the most memorable. We're going to break it down, give you guys both of our lists. So let's get right into it.
All right, Hammer. So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I think we start together on 3. I think we both say the number of the Super Bowl. Let's see if we got it right. Number 10.
All right.
3.
Number 10. 3, 2, 1.
55. 55. Why'd you put 53? 50.
Hammer. The Patriots-Rams Super Bowl might have been the worst Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah, but it's a 10. No, it was a 10-point game. Dude, Super Bowl 55 was a blowout. It was a terrible game.
Shouldn't have even happened. Patriots-Rams. Saints fans boycotted it. For all the Saints fans watching.
Oh my God.
No one even tuned in. I haven't even watched the highlights of this game in my life, Hammer. I have no clue.
Because there is no highlights.
What happened.
That's how bad the game was. Look at the score. Look at the score. Yeah, but those highlights it was a good defensive battle, 13-3, all right?
I think that's a shit Super Bowl. But let's see.
They both were. They're both the bottom of the list.
So 53 is your number 9 then. I'm assuming.
53 is my number. So let's just clarify for everyone. 55 was Tampa and Kansas City. Mm-hmm. It was the COVID year. Tampa, first year with Tom Brady, blew out Mahomes. Mahomes was running for his life all game. And 53 was New England and the Rams, where New England won 13-3. Really ugly defensive game. Stephon Gilmore got a pick towards the end of the game to seal it for New England. But 2, not pretty games, a blowout, and then a defensive battle. But, like Grayson, some guys don't like defensive battles. I do. I mean, I have it at number 9 still, but yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah, so number 10, 53, and then my number 9 is 55. I don't know. I think so
it's fine.
It's like flip-flop, whatever your preference is. Do you like defensive games? Do you like blowouts? Whatever. In my opinion, just Saints should have been Patriots Saints in that game, would have been a lot better.
Yes. But let's break down both of these, like heading into the games, right? Like you had Tom Brady, like the hype around it. There was so much hype about 55. You had Tom Brady, first year with the Patriots, greatest of all time, taking on Mahomes, trying to go for his second.
First year with the Bucks. Sorry, Hammer, you said Patriots. Just want to clarify.
Mahomes going for his second ring, kind of like this young buck. He's, looks like he's got the talent, capable of taking the mantle over from Tom Brady. Still the case, but there was a lot of hype going into that game, and like for it to be a blowout, you wanted to see who got the ball last with those 2 great quarterbacks. You want to see, but didn't happen. That's what it is.
I see where you're coming from with that. Yeah, for sure. Like it's definitely like it was focused on the quarterbacks, but in reality, it ended up being like line issues,
play.
Issue with the game, which kind of sucks.
That's why I put it at 10 because to me, out of this list, it was probably the most hyped up, and it just didn't live up to expectations because they got blown out. And this was the year that Green Bay played the Tampa Bay in the championship game, and they lost 31-26.
I remember watching that at I was working at Maggiano's, and a little carryout boy walking around. I was like, there's a small TV at the bar, and I would have to like walk by every like 5 minutes, just kind of get a peek. And the last thing I remember was like seeing Aaron Rodgers like walking off, like begging to come on the field, and LaFleur was not having it. So
no, and then real quick, 53. This was the year the Rams were on fire. I'm pretty sure they started 8-0. Really good offense this year. I think, probably number 1 in the league. So, these expectations, I don't know if New England's offense can match them. And Bill Belichick shows up to the party and is like, I'm Bill, and I'm going to shut you down. That's what he did, only allowing 3 points. That's when it was like Jared Goff was good, but then like you're like, can you win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff? Because he just kind of crapped the bed. So
he shit down his own leg. So 10 Patriots, Rams 53, Super Bowl 53. Number 9 Bucks, Chiefs, Super Bowl 55, and Hammer has the opposite. Opposite of that. So
want to do 8 on 3? We should get this one.
Number 8, 3, 2, 1,
50. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So Super Bowl 50, Hammer. I think we both kind of agree on this. Like, it was a solid Super Bowl for what it was, but nothing extremely memorable happened other than Cam not diving on the fumble. Like, there just wasn't.
I just remember. So this Super Bowl took place when we were in 8th grade, I believe.
Yeah.
And I just remember Von Miller taking over the game. Like, that was the first time I saw a defensive player like really win a game. Like, he was unbelievable. I think he only had like a sack and a half. But he had the 2 forced fumbles, right?
Yeah, so it was either 1 or 2, whatever it was.
Like
but
yeah.
he forced the game-winning fumble towards the end of the game, and that was always talked about. So for this game, I mean, obviously Peyton Manning goes out on a high note, right?
He looked terrible though, right? Do you remember? That last year, because he was coming off the injury, he couldn't even throw.
Yeah, it was kind of like
it was a wounded gazelle out there, man. He was just like
the
trying
defense is what held the Broncos in that.
Denver, that defense that year was one of the best all time. Stats wise, like Denver was awesome that year. They played New England in the championship game the 2 weeks before, and that was a great game. They really helped, stop Brady. And then, this was the year Cam. Like, Cam was the coolest guy back then. Like, year, it was like everyone was getting a Cam jersey for Christmas.
And they were undefeated for a long time in that season.
And they lost the 1 game to Atlanta.
Yeah, it was either week 16 or week 17. They lost that game. Mm-hmm. And then in the
playoffs, they blew out Seattle and Arizona.
Yeah, but then they had a team picture. Then they had a team picture of them dabbing, the whole team, and it was like a curse. Like, everyone says that's what lost them the game. It's similar to like the Giants boat picture way back when. Like, just a team picture like that's cringy in any way. Like, it's a curse.
Yeah.
So do you want to move on to number 7, or you got anything else for number 8?
No, that's it. That's 8.
All right, number 7.
I think we're like pretty good, so I say we just say that at the same time.
Do it. So number 7, 3, 2, 1.
54.
54. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's another game where it's like solid Super Bowl, but nothing extremely memorable. And I think that's partly because
a little bit.
You have Patrick Mahomes versus Jimmy G. And in my opinion, like, Jimmy G, the most memorable thing was him overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders wide open to make it like, I think at that point it would have given the 49ers the lead. I don't remember what the score was at that point in time in the game, but that's the most memorable thing to me, at least.
Yeah. So I remember watching this game with my dad. He's a Niner fan, and San Fran was up 10 points to start the 4th quarter. Yeah. This was the game. They were up 10 points. I think it was 20-10. Looking good for them. Jimmy G sells it, and here comes Mahomes with, who was the running back? Damian Williams, something like that.
Yeah. It was right? Damian. Yeah, Damian. Yeah.
And he had a couple of big runs, big touchdowns. But Jimmy G sold that game, missed a couple throws. That was the year the Niners really took off. From that's when they started, and they've been good ever since on a tear. And Mahomes' first ring, it was a good game, right? You like a comeback because that's what that's what Kansas City did. But yeah, I think it's a good spot at 7.
Yeah, there's just nothing extremely crazy about that game, and as we go up this list, like, more and more crazy things kind of happen.
Yeah.
So at number 6, 3, 2, 1, 58. Okay.
So
a little bit of a discrepancy again. So 58, for those who aren't sure, Chiefs 49ers rematch
this
past season. And to me, the game did go to overtime, so that made it a little bit more interesting, everything like that. To me, I think the offenses I'm not a huge defensive kind of guy in the Super Bowl. I like high scoring, like big explosive plays. And to me, this was a pretty defensive game. And I had talked about it with Hammer in our Super Bowl breakdown episode. Harrison Butker won the game for the Chiefs. He did. He's the only reason they were in this game, only reason it went to overtime. He is the reason they won this game. Defense as well, obviously, holding either team below 20. It was 25-22 his final score. So holding any team below 20, I would say 25 in that game, and it going to overtime for the Chiefs to score that was impressive for both defenses. just nothing crazy to me happened. It was an overtime game, exciting at the end, but pretty slow throughout the game itself. Hammer, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's I had 56, which was Rams and Bengals at 6. And then my next is Kansas City, San Fran this past season. I put it up there a little bit higher because, it's a rematch. Mahomes is trying to repeat. Niners had an awesome year. They got Christian McCaffrey the year before. Like, it's their time. Like, let's finally do this. We're healthy. Let's win. They're up at the beginning of the game, and they kind of blew it. And yeah, overtime. So, and then the end of the game was just a little weird because the clock was ticking down towards the end of overtime. It looked like the Niners thought maybe the game was going to end or something, and the Chiefs, guys wide open in the end zone for a touchdown, like miscommunication. Looked like the Niners maybe stopped playing. They didn't know the rules. I know there was a lot of there was a lot of talk about that after the game. So, yeah, I put that at 5, and at 6, I got Rams, Bengals. Was that your 5th?
That was my 5th.
We swapped, so let's talk about this.
Like 10 and 9.
Yeah. So for me, this game was our freshman year in college. This was a fun game because you saw 2 new teams, really. And you saw the Rams a couple years back with Jared Goff, but it felt like a new team because it's Stafford, and a lot of, Stafford's a fan favorite. A lot of people like him. A lot of people were rooting for him to win this. Even like Packer fans, like, we respect him because he was in hell in Detroit and he was a very good player. So now he's with the Rams, got Cooper Kupp. This was the Cooper Kupp year where he was just on a tear. Yeah. And then you had the Bengals, and it's Joe Burrow's second year, and they beat Buffalo, they beat Kansas City in the playoffs, and it's like this young team that's flashy with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and Burrow's slinging it, Joe Cool, and yeah, it was a fun game, close game. Cooper Kupp made that play over Eli Apple in the end, but yeah.
See, yeah, to me, I actually really liked the Super Bowl. I think it was entertaining throughout. Like, it was a relatively close game throughout the whole entire time. OBJ got hurt. That kind of sucked because he was having a solid Super Bowl. He was having.
He looked like he was going to win MVP.
Yeah, he was on a tear. Then he got hurt. That sucked. Then towards the end of the game, the reason why I think I have it a little bit lower on my thing at 5 versus a little bit higher is because the refs kind of got involved. You saw sort of that penalty at the end on the Bengals was a little bit iffy. No one really agreed with that. Obviously, it's kind of ticky-tack. Like, they could have called it, but it kind of was enough where it shouldn't have gotten called. And so that kind of sucked, being everyone rooting for a lot of people rooting for the Bengals. Just seeing it end that way, I didn't love that. Also, I mean, people are going to say, I think the last play of the game, or one of the final plays that the Bengals threw, or actually earlier in the game, there was a penalty on Jalen Ramsey, something like that. The people argued that, like, if the Bengals one wasn't called, that one shouldn't have been called, whatever. It's just, to me, the game was a solid game, but number 5 is a good spot for it in my books.
Yeah, and one more thing I'll say about this game. I think this was the one game on this list that I was actually, like, not rooting for anyone, because usually, you want to root against Tom Brady or Mahomes because you want to see something different. Like, this game, I like Stafford. I like Joe Burrow. I'd be cool with either of them winning.
Yeah, it was definitely like a neutral ground kind of game. I mean, Rams for the Saints are a little bit bitter, but I was kind of cheering on the Bengals, but in reality, I didn't really care either way. So that's my opinion. Number 4, Hammer, we're going to do the same thing. 3, 2, 1.
4, yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. 57. Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. So, like, for me, this is the part of the list that gets really tough. 4 through 1 is tough for me. Jenks thinks it's easy. He was like, this is an easy list. I'm like, this is tough for me. Just because I remember my experience watching the games, like what my house was like, watch. So I don't know. And they were all great games, but let's get into it. 57, Kansas City, Philly, 38-35. KC gets the win. Really exciting game, high scoring. I know Jenks likes that. Yeah, this was a big game, like, statement game for, like, Jalen Hurts. Like, we all know his story coming out of college, and then he leads his team to the Super Bowl, plays really well, pretty well, has 3 rushing touchdowns, most by any quarterback in Super Bowl history. And, it comes down to a little ticky-tacky PI call that Kansas City gets, because I'm pretty sure I think it was Juju who got, someone
it was a
PI
holding.
on him.
It got called for holding.
Holding, yeah. And then Buckner kicks the game-winning field goal, and I think Hurts attempted a Hail Mary at the end and didn't work out, but really, really good game.
Yeah, and I think it was Kadarius Toney that put the Chiefs in, that kind of won the game for the Chiefs.
They won the game.
Like a big punt return towards the end of the game. It was a memorable game because it was back and forth towards the end. I think in the fourth quarter, there was a few lead changes. I remember at the first half, throughout the first half, everyone was slipping left and right on the field. A lot of field issues. Everyone was complaining. So that was a little bit interesting to see and play out on a Super Bowl level, because usually the Super Bowl, best field conditions, everything like that. So it was a little bit of a adversity that the players had to play through, things like that. That made the game more interesting. And then to finish 38-35, yes, on a game-winning field goal. Obviously, that's not as exciting as some of the other plays they're about to talk about, but still an exciting finish nonetheless. That's Super Bowl 57.
Yeah,
so
that was
anything else to say, Hammer?
No, that was a great game. Let's move on to 3. Now it gets interesting.
Yeah, number 3. 3, 2, 1, 52.
51.
Wow. There's no shot. There's no that's hammer.
It's not that crazy. It's not that
tell
crazy.
Me the largest comeback in a Super Bowl ever is 2 spots forward.
Yeah, it's not. That's why I told you though, this is extremely tough for me. But yeah.
That's
just being honest.
Where's 52 at for you?
52 is the next one.
Okay, so it's all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Just because we'll explain. So you want to talk about 52?
Yeah, I'll do 52.
Is 51 your number 1? That's
Yeah.
your number 1. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about 52.
Yeah, I mean, so 52, obviously, Eagles 41, Patriots 33. This was a game, obviously, the Philly special came about in this game. Teams replicated that for years to come. Nick Foles comes in after Carson Wentz gets hurt in the regular season. Carson Wentz was having an MVP season, and then he got hurt, whatever. Nick Foles comes in, gets the nickname Big Dick Nick because he comes in and he balls out for the Eagles. He comes in and it's like Carson Wentz never left. It's just Nick Foles just steps in. I'm the guy. Balls out. In the Super Bowl, the Patriots kind of at this point of time, like 2018, they're kind of deemed like, I think they were definitely favorites. I don't remember by how much in this game, but Tom Brady was strong. Patriots were balling out. It was right after the comeback season, or the comeback Super Bowl. Patriots on a high note. Eagles come in. Philly special shocks the world. And then the Eagles come out and beat them. They beat them in a very much upset fashion. Nick Foles was not expected to do that. To beat Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, whatever. Just a nuts game, but not better than the other two above it, in my opinion. Henry, what were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, in my opinion, this is number 2 for me because high-scoring, exciting game, back and forth. Philly was number 1 seed all season long. Like you said, Wentz goes down, Foles comes in, and they're like underdogs in the playoffs. Yeah. They beat Atlanta, they beat Minnesota, they blow out Minnesota. I love that. And then they're coming off. New England's coming off the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, trying to go back to back. Eagles are underdogs. And they won, and the Philly special, and it was just really memorable. It was I think it was sophomore year in high school. My sister's an Eagles fan, so she was going crazy, and I just kind of like that underdog mentality. No one was picking Philly, and I just remember that, and that was a lot of fun. And then I'm just you want me to talk about 51 quick? We'll leave it to the end.
Wait, what was number? So what was number 2? Was what, 51?
No, number 2 for me was 52. 3 was 51.
3 was 51. Okay, you can go over 51 because.
So let's talk about 51.
Yeah, 51. So 51's my number 1. Hammer's number 3. Yeah. So yeah. Give your thoughts, Hammer. You give your thoughts on it for being number 3.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I think the top 3 Super Bowls all could be tied. Like I think they're all great games. I have, you know, great memories of watching them. For me, 51, I don't know how to explain it. New England's getting, killed. Everyone in my house goes to bed, and I'm the only one watching it. And after Brady scored that touchdown, I was like, they're going to come back and they're going to be in this game. I don't know if they're going to win, but I just knew it. Like they're going to come back and they're going to be in this game.
What are you? What are you, a prophet, huh?
No, but I'm just saying. I knew it was going to happen, and it happened. And then, but like that's the thing because I kind of thought about it, and then when New England won, I wasn't like that shocked. I mean, it was unbelievable, but I was just like. It was just like I've seen this coming. Like he's just gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like because that's just who Tom Brady is. So I don't know. It's like it was a little bit expected, but I think the reason it's 53, it's number 3 on the list for me is because it was Tom Brady. It's like I don't want to see this guy win again. Like now he's got another, he's got another lodge on Aaron's belt. It's like he's another step better, and it's just like
he's a
if it was like Stafford or like I don't know someone else doing it, maybe it would be higher on the list. But I was like, oh, Brady and Belichick, come on.
Yeah,
and the one thing too, I think that I'll say about this game, I think James White got robbed of MVP. But
how many touchdowns did he have in that game?
I think he had 2. He had the game winner. He had a receiving one. He had 14 receptions, which is the most in Super Bowl history. But he was just everywhere on the field. And once again, Edelman made that amazing catch. I mean, also a lot of memory. Like there's so many plays that you can look at. Julio's amazing catch along the sideline. You got Dante Hightower. Strip sack on Matt Ryan that really changed the game, took them out of field goal range, gave New England the ball. So, yeah, it's number 3 for me, which is going to get hate, but I don't know. I mean, to me, you can put them in any order, but this is just for me.
Yeah. So my thoughts on Super Bowl 51, real quick. This earned the Falcons the name, like the nickname of the chokers of the NFL, and I love that as a Saints fan. That's why it's higher for me. Obviously, Saints fans love seeing the Falcons fail. Second of all, to touch on your MVP kind of conversation, it's either James White, Edelman, or Brady. Those are like the 3 that you could have named, right? Because for Edelman, in my opinion, he had the catch that kept him in the game. He doesn't make that catch, they're not coming back. Second of all, he had the 2-point conversion at that, or it was Edelman, right? It wasn't Amendola. Get them mixed up. It was Amendola. Shit. Anyways, Edelman, the catch alone could have won him MVP. But Tom Brady, you come back from that many points, like totally. It's gonna be the quarterback. That's just how the league works. We all know that.
Yeah. And the only reason I say James White, I mean, Tom Brady led him, this and that. It was amazing. Like, part of me, I'm telling you, when I was watching, I just knew he was gonna do it. I knew he was gonna get him back in the game. But I say James White because you had no clue who this guy was. Like, he didn't.
He was solid. He was a solid.
No, you didn't. Dude, New England's never had a lead back. It's always running back by committee. And for the common NFL fan, you didn't know who James White was heading to the game.
I don't know about that.
You're lying to yourself.
He was. I'm not saying he was a star running back by any means, but he was a decent running back. Here, let me look. Let me look at his stats going into that year.
I'm doing it right now, so don't worry about
it. Yeah, I mean, obviously the numbers aren't like anything crazy, but in 2017, 429 yards.
It was 2016. This is 2016.
Okay, 2016, 551 yards.
Yeah, right? 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's called an RB2 on a running back committee. You didn't know who he was.
That's receiving. Average NFL
that's
receiving.
No, it wasn't.
Rushing was a lot worse. He had 166 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns. He was the receiving back though. But that's what I'm saying. He was the receiving back, so him to have 14 receptions, like, it's not as surprising as, like, obviously it's a record. But I'm saying James White was the receiving back.
You didn't know who James White was before that game.
I mean, I did. because I watched their other games.
But you weren't like James White is the X factor.
Obviously, no, but I'm saying,
you weren't heading into the game like, holy crap, you're like, Matt Ryan's screwed because I got James White. Oh my God.
No, obviously,
Dan Quinn, how can you stop James White?
Obviously, but James White was a solid player for the Patriots going in that game. That's all I was trying to say. You were acting like, who the hell is this guy? He's like
you didn't know the common NFL fan that wouldn't know who James White is. It's just a fact.
Nah, I don't know about that. We'll let the comments down below if anyone makes it this far. Comment
because the lead back in New England during that time was like LeGarrette Blount. Like he was the dude.
Yeah, for rushing.
You didn't know James White.
For receiving, it was James White.
All right.
I'll let the Patriots fans decide that. Anyways, my other statement about this, what I was doing during this game, it got to be a blowout, and like my friends and I are in like one of those like Minecraft phases, right? You know how they come and go. Like you just sit.
That's weird.
You play Minecraft. I'm sitting there with my buddies, and we're just like playing
Grow
Minecraft.
Up. Not at that age.
Dude, we were freshmen. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't play Minecraft.
Play Minecraft like still.
I stopped playing. Yeah,
I stopped playing. My name is John Hammerly. I stopped playing Minecraft when I was 3 years old because I'm a badass. Like, dude.
No, I stopped playing Minecraft probably in like 6th grade, and I picked up the weights, man. Grow up.
I'm so cool. I'm John Hammerly. Dude, everyone plays Minecraft. Everyone plays Minecraft. Anyways, it was one of those Minecraft phases. We're sitting there, and then the game turned around, and we stopped playing. We started paying attention. Anyways, number 2 on my list, Hammer, for you, it was what? 50.
Number 1.
But what was number 2?
Number 2, 52.
Okay, 52 for Hammer. For me,
saying your 2 is my 1, 49.
Okay. Yeah. So for my number 2, Patriots, Seahawks, obviously. Patriots won 28-24, and this game was amazing purely for the finish.
But let's talk about the build-up to the game. The build-up. That's a very important feature, dude. The build-up.
Let's talk about it's a lot.
Let's talk about the build-up. You had Deflategate. New England blows up the Colts. This whole thing's going on.
Yeah.
Right? On the other side, you had Seattle. Huge comeback win over Green Bay. Best defense in the league. Trying to go back-to-back.
Yeah.
Right? Considered one of the best defenses of all time. Secondaries all time. Right? So that's the build-up heading to the game. You got Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. They just blew out the Colts. Deflategate. Whoa, cheaters. They're going to cheat again. I don't know. Whatever. And then you had the Seattle Seahawks, like dominant football team, just won the Super Bowl. Not only won the Super Bowl, but kicked the crap out of Denver.
Killed.
Who was the number 1 offense. Then they were down 16-0 with like 5 minutes left to Green Bay, who had MVP Aaron Rodgers that year, came back and won. So that's the build up to this game. So yeah, let's start there.
Anticipation was high. That's what you're saying.
It was. So take it.
So then you get into this game, close game. It gets to the end where the fourth quarter, you're like Tom Brady in the fourth quarter, like you know how it kind of goes. He ends up winning the game. But the ball ends up in the Seahawks' hands, and they're driving down the field.
Edelman game-winning touchdown.
What for them to take the lead before that? Yeah, before that. Anyway, Seahawks are driving, and what's his name? Jermaine Curse makes an insane catch, and I think that was over Malcolm Butler as well. I don't remember who the corner. I believe it was Malcolm Butler, but he makes an insane juggling catch, falling down, catches the ball to get to like the 6 or 5 yard line, maybe like the 3.
No, not that close. It was like at 10, something like that.
I know it wasn't towards the end zone yet. Then they have a couple more plays. They get to like it's like the 1.5 yard line.
2, whatever.
Yeah, 1.5, 2 yard line. And obviously everyone knows what happens after that. Pete Carroll decides to throw the ball instead of run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. And Marshawn Lynch in the game prior against the Packers balled out. I mean, he had the whole thing where he grabbed his nuts, whatever. That was Marshawn's thing.
No, he didn't do that. He did it against you guys, not against us.
He did it against you.
No,
He did it against. Yes, he did in the Packers game. Go look. He did it against you.
I think I would know. No, he ran it in the touchdown, and he was like all business, and he shook his lineman's hands.
I thought he turned. I swear to God, he did. Anyways,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever. Marshawn Lynch standing on the side, or not on the
side.
You
have like PTSD. That's what he did to you guys.
Okay, I'm
you think sure it did to everyone. No, he just did it to your team. Sure it didn't. It didn't.
Anyways, I'm gonna have to look up highlights now after this. Anyways, Marshawn Lynch doesn't get the ball. They throw a slant. I think it was who was the slant to? Tyler. Who was it to? I'm blanking on who it was
83. What was his name?
Was it Curse?
No, it wasn't Curse. Curse number 15.
Not Lockett.
Keep talking. I'll look it up. No.
Yeah, no, I am. But anyways, Malcolm Butler picks it off. An insane read from a corner, and it kind of set up his career. It set up Malcolm Butler's career after that, because after he was on the Patriots, he goes to the Titans, doesn't do nearly as well. But I mean, it was an insane play. Everyone's shocked that they don't run the ball, and the Patriots win. I mean, absolute mayhem. The stadium, or all the Seahawks fans, are silent. They don't know what the hell just happened. They're expecting Marshawn Lynch to get the ball, and it doesn't happen. So obviously, it's not ideal.
They threw it to Ricardo or Lockett. Yeah.
Ricardo.
Yeah. Number 83.
It was before Tyler Lockett, but it was a Lockett.
Yeah.
Ricardo. Yeah, that's.
I mean, you had like Jermaine Curse. You had Doug Baldwin. You went to him.
I forgot Doug Baldwin was there too. Yeah, it's just that
Doug was a beast. Fantasy legend for me.
Was Percy Harvin there that year as well? But he was like hurt or something. I don't remember if he was there that year. I know he was there.
I don't think he was there that year. I think that's a little early. He was there 2016. I remember he had a kick return.
No, he was there.
The Falcons. I don't think he was there 2014.
The Saints. When the Saints lost to them in the playoffs, I think he was there as well, which was like 2012. So I don't remember if he was there for that game, but either way, that's like they had the players at receiver like to throw the ball to in that situation. I guess they thought, hey, we're shocking him with Ricardo Lockett. They weren't shocking him. Malcolm Butler gets the pick, wins the game. Patriots win. Tom Brady adds another ring. And yeah, I mean, that'll do it for our rankings. I just want to quick overview. There's only been.
Yeah, he was there 2014.
Okay, yeah. So Percy Harvin was there as well.
Oh, Hester was the one in 2016 with a return for Seattle. Never mind.
Gotcha.
But real quick, I put 49 number 1 on my list because it was just a crazy game. And I'm watching that too, like rooting for New England. That probably hypes it up. This is the first time I'm rooting for New England because Seattle just beat us.
Ripped your heart out.
Yeah, and that was like the worst day of my life. So like I'm rooting for New England, and like they get the win. Amazing play by the corner, DBU. Gotta love my DBs. But yeah, just totally memorable. I remember that. I think it was 5th or 6th grade, but yeah.
On an unrelated note, Hammer, really quick, what is more heartbreaking, the Packers loss or the Minneapolis Miracle? Like the Seahawks comeback with the onside kick, things like that, or the Minneapolis Miracle? Be objective or not objective here. Be non-biased.
I'd say it's tough. I'm going to say us, but I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to say us because I'm going to tell you why. Because the stakes were higher, right? NFC Championship game. And we picked off Russell Wilson 5 times. And we were up 16-0, 2 possessions with like 4 minutes left. That's worse.
Didn't the Seahawks have a fake field goal for a touchdown too in that game?
Yeah. Like that's worse. That's worse than like a Hail Mary.
Okay. And I'm going to give it just devil's advocate, play the other side as a Saints fan, getting to witness that. We came back multiple times in that game. It was a back and forth game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
We were down by 2 scores going into the second half. It might have been like 15 points, so maybe 3 scores technically. But it was a nuts half, and then just to get your heart broken by Marcus Williams missing a tackle is pretty rough. Well, I think next episode, Hammer, are we going to do heartbreaks anytime soon, or are we going to do? We talked about doing possibly like top 10 heartbreaks.
We could do that, or we could do top 10 playoff games.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of rankings coming for you guys soon. So if you guys like them, let us know. Let us know what you want us to rank as well. Real quick though, there have only been 6 different winners in the last 10 years for the Super Bowl. The Patriots with 3, Chiefs with 3, then the Rams, Eagles, Broncos, Bucks, and then 11 teams total have played in the Super Bowl in the last 10 years. So not a large range of like teams, things like that. Pretty small sample size there. So for all the other 21 teams looking in, maybe this year could be your year.
Yeah.
Do you have an early Super Bowl prediction, Hammer, with the teams? Off the top of your head, I know it's rough. You're not looking at anything.
I gotta go. Damn, that stumped me.
I know it's tough. Ravens, Lions. Boom.
Ravens, Lions.
Yeah. Early prediction. Off the top of my dome.
Everyone's picking the Lions. That's like a hot pick. I gotta go. I was gonna say Packers, Bengals, but I like the Ravens a little bit better right now. I'm always behind the Bengals for some reason. I don't know why. I'll go Packers, Ravens. I like that.
Okay. I don't mind that. I honestly almost said that. Then I was like, the Lions are there too, and the 49ers.
Hey, listen, I'm going to pick the Packers, and I'll say it all off season. Look, after what we did last year, and then we had a good off season, I'm just like, you know what? And the NFC is just, it's a little weaker, and I'm like, you know what? You never know. We'll see.
Yeah, but I think that'll do it, Hammer. I don't have any closing thoughts other than the Super Bowl prediction. I'm ready for this episode to come out. Oh, just a quick announcement. Hammer and I are going to Packers training camp. The second week of camp. We're excited. We're going to be flying up, and then we'll be there for 2 days. We'll hopefully link up with Big B, make a lot of content for you guys. Try to interview some fans, some players, get those reels out to you guys. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Gotta show Jenks around Lambeau. Ooh, baby. Get some cheese curds in his system.
Hell yeah. We'll record the reaction video. Don't worry.
Yeah, be a good time. We're excited for that. End of July. Excited. Can't wait. But let us know what you think down below. Like Jenks said, what you want us to kind of rank, your thoughts on these Super Bowls, on these lists, kind of your favorite memory from the Super Bowl. But yeah, that's going to do it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jenks Pod. And you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jenks Podcast. Have a good week. We'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.